Hello guys, thanks for joining me as ever down on the River Thames foreshore. So let's see what we can find today. What's that I spy working over here? Very sweet. Tiny bead. There we go. Very pretty little bead. I mean, it could be 18th, 19th, oh, I don't know. Look at that irregular shape. Could be older. We'll take a look at them actually when we get home, when I get home. You're coming home with me, but yeah, I'll take a look at home. Beads are notoriously hard to date. Our finds liaison officer is very reluctant to date beads, but actually, you know what? That has got some age to it. I'm positive that's got a good bit of age to it. It's so irregular, as in the shape, and then the texture of the glass. Yeah, we'll check that out at home. There you go, you can see a bit better on there, and look, it's on a holy oyster shell. Thames mystery, a little bead. Okay. So someone has clearly returned a large portion of their Westerwald. I think it's all Westerwald, maybe some scratch blue. They've popped this back. Oh look what a lovely shard that is. But I've got enough of my own. Ooh, nice pot rim there. Possibly a chamber pot rim. So I think someone else deserves this lovely stash of 17th, maybe 18th century Westerwald. Some really nice features on this little cache of pottery there. So yeah, mainly plain, or they've kept all the goodies, obviously. And then a bit of manganese on there. But yeah, cute. Okay, oh look, I think, is that scratch blue maybe, rather than Westerwald? Oh, here's a pretty piece. Little bit of detail. Yeah, let's leave this for someone else who needs to build up their collection. Lovely though. So today we're looking at living it up in historical London, and I've got a whole cross section of foreshore to show you that represents living in London. So that's eating, drinking, passing the time of day, smoking. In this particular area there's also heaps of cigarette butts, and what I mean by that is pieces of clay pipe, which of course were cigarette butts of yesteryear. There we go, bottle, stoneware, Victorian, possibly a drinks bottle, could have been an ink bottle, but yeah, maybe ink, but more likely drinks. But yeah, loads of bit of pipe in this area. So this is obviously where all the action was going on, for smoking and drinking and fun. Don't do it, kids. Not saying just load of drinks and have fun. There we go, a bit of a handle of a stoneware vessel. Look, loads of clay pipe bits everywhere here. Here we are. Someone's had a good old smoke up round here. Wow, look, these could date from the late 1500s to the early 20th century. A load more pipe stems. Some quite lengthy ones, but really unusual to find a bowl and a length of stem like that in this area. But yeah, nice to see all these together like this. And they make the loveliest jingling sound. Let's get a few. So when the tide pulls them in and out, you get this kind of wind chime sound. Anyway, sorry if that's making me feel sick in the screen. It's a bit fast moving, isn't it? There we go. More pipes. If you look across, you can just see them. See there, and they're littered here. There we go, more clay pipes, they're just littered everywhere. There we go, a bit of slipware, that's Staffordshire slip combed, or combed slipware. And they look like big bakewell tarts. They're really lovely plates that have this kind of bakewell tart design. What else can I see on the hoof? Another bit of vessel there, post-medieval, could be medieval to post-medieval. And then again, more clay pipe stands here, there and everywhere. And here we go, speaking of food, bones, more bones there. Where do all the animal bones come from? As you know, the river was for a good 2,000 years both a receptacle of spiritual offerings, in fact it still is today, but more pertinently, rubbish and sewerage. Again, extremely on topic, shamefully, sewerage spills out into the Thames today on occasion. But that's another story for another time. However, if you want to read more about that, go and check out River Action to see what I'm referring to. Now, the Thames's rubbish dump has seen over time the bones of thousands of animals being chucked into the river on a daily basis as waste, including that from abattoirs, butcheries, tanneries, chop houses, domestic dwellings, and many, many more establishments from the Roman period to the 19th century. So let's take a look through at some of the things we find. Look at this, bit of a horn core there, very narrow one. Nice to have a look inside, see all the striations and all the kind of formations of the inside of a horn. So this is the bit, as the name would suggest, it's a horn core, so it's inside the outer layer of horn. Probably cattle. Yeah, narrow one there. Had a little square taken out of it, interesting. Or is that a hole anyway? Who knows what made that hole, possibly post-mortem. I mean, yeah, it's tempting to say it's been man-made, but who knows. Anyway, very nice, leave that for someone else. Right guys, not taking the credit for this one because I've just been given this by two of my mudlarking friends. Now, I am reliably informed that this is 100% Roman, and we know this from this kind of silty sediment, this very iron-rich silty sediment here. This is typical Roman residue on an animal bone. Now, my guess was horse, but no, this is most likely ox. So bovine, and you can see here the horse's skull, the jaw usually twists at the front because it has these teeth that stick up here, doesn't it? Horse have these teeth at the front. So thank you very much. So Guy, and another mudlark. That's I'm really pleased with that. It's a whopper. So I've got the little horn core hoof of something, maybe a horse or a donkey. I've got this lovely ox jawbone. And I've got some other bone bits and bobs, some offcuts. So yeah, that's a fab thing there. Thank you very much guys for giving it to me. One more thing to note about this ox jaw find. Okay, unless I have it tested, dated scientifically, I don't know for a fact 100% that it was Roman. However, the signs are there, and it was found in pretty much a location where a lot of other Roman items came up with it, not on the surface but lower down. So disregarding deposition on the foreshore, where things are dumped on the foreshore at different times, this is, I'm happy to say, pretty much almost certainly a Roman jawbone for an ox. Now, oxes were used to pull carts. They were used nose to tail, so to work throughout their lives. And then when they died, their bones were used, their meat was used, their bones were made into trinkets and trifles, and they were used for toys and all sorts of things. Also, another little interesting fact, it was the Romans who introduced eating beef into the country. So Great Britain, known for its roast beef, we can thank the Romans for that. Don't take my word for it. Check out some articles online. There are some very senior archaeologists writing about it. We've got two bony finds here. Bona fide bony finds. That's a hoof. There we go. Some might be tempted to think that's jawbone, but yeah, no, it's a hoof. So I'm going to take that. That was like a core, like I was showing you the horn core before. This is a hoof of an animal, probably a horse. So yeah, and I think that's the inside of the keratinus, is that a word? The kind of, you know, the nail of the horse on the outside. So I'll take that. But then, if I can see it, if I haven't waffled too much and lost it, right, you can find it with me. Ah, got it. So here's a cool thing, and I love to collect these. There we go, a knuckle bone from goat, sheep. I think it's from the hock, but I read that quickly in passing, so maybe don't quote me on that. Anyway, I like to collect these, especially when they're old, like this one. You can tell because of the colour, the patination. I was doing an exhibition recently, no, last year in fact, and a woman originally from Haiti came over and yoinked it off the table and said, "Oh my god, I can't believe you've got one of these. We used to play with these as kids." And they were used as jacks, so that's where they get the name knuckle bones from. They used to have five of these, I think, and actually there's various ways of playing it, dating from ancient Egypt, I think. And yeah, so it's like a throw and pick up game, and the way you throw it, the way they land, you get points, etc. There's another way you throw a ball up in the air and then you try and pick up as many of these before you catch it. So anyway, yeah, that's why that game is called Knuckle Bones, as well as jacks, snobs, alley gobs. So yeah, taking that for sure. And okay. It's another possible flight to fancy time, but look, I think these two do belong together. If you look at the marking there, look at the marking there, and they were together in the ground there. So dropped like that, found like that. I think that's a complete European oyster, Oyster Edulus, and whether maybe it hadn't been shucked, I don't know, maybe it was a bad one, maybe it fell off a cart, maybe it had been consumed, who knows. But look, that is, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to get a second opinion, but yeah, I think found in situ like that, it's got to be it, surely. Again, eating. Why do we find such an abundance of oyster shells? These are Oyster Edulus. They are the native Thames oyster. We do get Pacific oysters here too, but they were introduced later on. And oysters were a staple. They were a common food in Rome and London, and that goes all the way through into the Victorian era, and they were eaten by the poor and the wealthy. It was a popular food for poor people, for the lower classes, and they used oysters to substitute for more expensive meats like beef in stews and soups. So yeah, they were around, and we find their remains everywhere. Alright, so this is Humour Me Part 2. Has this been worked? I know, Marie, you're rubbish at hand work flint. Instinctively I say no, because it's always a no in general. So yeah, but look, spotted a nice chunk over here. Now it's easy to ignore or overlook Victorian wares, but what's this first? We'll have a look at this. There we go, plain. But then here we are. Let's see. So there it is. Lovely piece of willow pattern. I will leave it for someone else just because, you know, I've got so much of it, but nice to find a piece just sticking up out of the foreshore like that. It reminds us that, you know, this foreshore is absolutely littered with signs of human activity. Here we go, what's this? Bit of a 17th century pipe bowl, Victorian there, probably Victorian. This might be 18th century. A bit more of a china kind of ware. What else have we got here? Part of a pipkin handle, possibly a pipkin or a skillet handle. I think handle rather than a foot, although it might be a foot from a tripod. Actually, yep, foot from a tripod there. You can see that's the base of the bowl there. So we've stood up with 3 other feet. And then the side of the bowl here, or the vessel, whatever, cooking vessel. So there we go, post-medieval, so 1500 to 1800. So yeah, just signs absolutely everywhere of people living and loving and eating and drinking and whatever else. Nice little overview of life in London over 2,000 years. Actually, speaking of Londoners and living, here's something that I often refer to as Tuda Brick. These are handmade bricks, but actually they didn't come in until sort of Elizabeth I period, right at the end of the Tudor period. And so look, you can see that's handmade. Look at this irregularity here. This is a nice example. Am I going to take it? Goodness me, I've got loads at home. It's actually also called a London stock brick. So these yellow bricks here, these yellow and red ones, houses of the 16th, 17th, 18th century period. But yeah, nice thing, made in a mould by hand. Maybe I'll leave it here for something else. I've got so many, I shouldn't take everything, should I? Sharing is caring. Okay, I've stopped here by the edge of the water because saw a bit of potential, found this aglet. Quite a thick one, so aglet, otherwise known as a lace shape. And it's just something that goes on the end of a lace, as in, like our shoelaces in fact, but these probably clothing, sleeves, breeches and so on. And it just helps the lace go through an eyelet. Anyway, spotted that, saw a bit of potential around here, said I wasn't going to pick up any more pottery. I spied a couple of sweet pieces, but I think I'm going to let them pass me by. In fact, you can't even see it now, it's gone. Right, let's get down here. Another aglet, there we go, smaller this time. So yeah, just looking around this little area here, there's some kind of silty, little bit sandy, little bit muddy. Ever hopeful for metal, I've just stumbled into this area that's got some really nice letterpress type here. These are cast metal. One letter is a W, you can just see that. The other one I think is an L. So there we go. And down here there are heaps and heaps of pins all around here. So I'm going to have a good look, see if there's anything promising down here. But yeah, I love finding these areas that are just completely littered with pins and these sandy patches. It's a good sign. So let's give it a whirl. Well guys, it looks like I'm having a bead day. There we go. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. It's got this sort of light bit at the entrance and the centre. Not sure if that goes all the way through. It is there as well. I'll have to shine a light on that and see what's what. Another nice one there. Again, probably post-medieval to post-medieval. We'll have a look. And we'll shine the light on it through it to see what the actual colour of that is. Here we go. Lovely piece of mockerware there. Top of a bowl or a cup, but you can see the dendritic pattern. You see the dendritic pattern there. Very nice. I'll take it for now. I'll take it for now. I might do a bit of a show you these bits afterwards. And what is this here? Roof tile, I think, with a raised. Oh yeah. Oopsie, dropped it. Hang on. Ah, what a tragedy. You see, when you're clumsy like me and you drop bits of lovely mockerware, unfortunately, even though they've been in the river for so long, they break. Okay, well, that's a shame, but never mind. Yeah, roof towel. See, I'm actually bereft about that because I'm so clumsy. Right. Roof towel, raised pegs, I think. Raised peg holes. We'll take a look at that. It looks medieval to me. Now, I wouldn't normally, but there's something interesting about this one. Okay, I've got a pipe bowl. But there, look at the heel or spur. Isn't that interesting? Looks like a hoof. That is kind of unusual, really. So I am going to take that and just check in with a couple of people and see what's going on with that. But yeah, interesting heel there. Never seen one like that before. I don't know if it is meant to be a hoof because it's not quite, you know, it's got no real decoration on it, but the shape is interesting, so I will be taking that. Yep. Oh, and as for date, 18th century I'm guessing, maybe 19th. Yeah. Bowl shape interesting too, so might be out on the date, but that's my guess. Alright, I'm in no doubt about this one. This is a handle and I will be taking that. It's very obvious, isn't it? It's from some sort of shadow pan. Well, I say that, but I think it's obvious that it's from some sort of shadow pan. Definitely. If you look at it like that. This would be the circumference of it, or the edge of it. This is the handle, gotta be. And then look, the depth doesn't look like it's going to be much because of this curving down here. I think that's a skillet, or was once a skillet. Yeah, lovely. It's shaping there on the handle where it's been manipulated into shape. It's squidged basically. Very nice, pleased with that. I'd put that at Tuda. While we're on the subject of bone and butchery, this, although it could be from something, not what I'm about to say, but this, what I'm about to say is most likely a false start in butchery. So butchers make these chop marks, and when they're, you know, I suppose fairly new to the job, they make false starts. As it is, this hasn't been butchered here, has it? It's just looks naturally kind of either worn down, but here, this chop mark here is what we're looking at, and that it's a bit like a, you know, you make a wrong start, so you chop, you think, uh-oh, that's not well, that's not what I don't want. So you move further up and chop. So that's not proportion. They're referred to as false starts, and yeah, so bone with a false start mark on. I'm saying it's a chop there. That's been done with a bladed, with an edged blade. And yeah, they were going to chop this end bit off here, this joint, and then thought better of it. For whatever reason, chops further up. False start. And if you want to know why I'm in the bone zone, those of you who followed me for a while will know that I love bones. Oh, a couple of bits of blue and white there. It's because I'm searching for bones with interesting marks on, a bit like the chop mark I just showed you. But more than that, I'm looking for decorated bone. So items like knife handles, stuff like that, that's been started to be made and decorated, and then hasn't been finished or whatever, it's been chucked away. So yeah, interesting marks on bone I love. Also, not just purposeful decoration, but ooh, that's a nice little bit of glass rod. Sorry, there we go. Interesting, taking that. Glass rod is always interesting. Right, back to the bone. Yeah, sometimes you find bones with a whole series of marks in. So like this, you might find one with loads of tally marks almost. Now I don't think they're just full start chop marks. I think they probably are tally marks for counting. Obviously there are none here. I'll put some up on the screen that I've got at home. Yeah, really hard to say, but bones were used back in the day, in the way back in the day, as a method for counting and tallying. So there you go. Hey, as luck would have it, I've just found an example here as well. Now, I'm not too sold on this as being a tally mark. I think these are probably false starts. Don't really know, hard to tell. But yeah, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. But, oh, who am I kidding? I'm going to take this home, obviously. But usually I'd take them home if they're more, you know, more of a bigger bone shape. And when they've got many marks, and sometimes they've got 4 with a strike through meaning 5. Yeah, so anyway, I keep saying I'm going to go. I think I am. Just having a little scour to see. Oh, there we go. Pipe hole. Broken. Chopped in half. Yeah, a bit of pipe bowl there. I was just having, there, we'll leave it somewhere else. I was just having a look. Oh, date-wise, yeah, 17th, 18th. Yeah. So I was just having a look to see if I can find anything interesting. And actually, also, I'm always on the lookout for what's referred to as figs and porous. They're referred to often as apple porous. The kind of bones that have been cut. So imagine this. It's got a longer bit of bone there, and this segment has been scooped out, and they were used for coring, scooping stuff out. But I mean, also these cuts might be from marrow removed on bones. So sometimes hard to tell. Bit of Roman there, same in Rome. Bit of Roman pottery. Some other lucky person's find it. Anyway, what can I see before last nothings? If there's anything else cool, I will let you know. Alright guys, well, here's my chum. Got some lovely finds today, really pleased with it. I'd say beads were the dominating factor. Yeah, but some lovely bits and pieces of pottery obviously, which I'm going to leave there. And all in all, pleased with my bones, pleased with my beads. So yeah, catch you next time down here and we'll see what we can find then. Thanks for joining me.